urge to leave and the desire to remain. To paraphrase one of our guests, they are both elements of the same country, sometimes even at war within ourselves. Peter Oborne and Melissa Kite, both writers of the right, join me now. Peter Oborne, the article that you have published today reads like a sort of a roadmap to a sort of Damascus. Brexit has paralysed the system. It's turned Britain into a laughingstock, and it is certain to make us poorer and to lead to lower incomes and lost jobs. We Brexiteers would be wise to acknowledge all this. When did you discover this?
If you've followed events for the last few months, there's been some very grim moments for the Brexiteers. The wave of disinvestment, the city people being told to sign contracts which ensure their employers are happy to go and live in or work in Europe. You've got Honda in Swindon, the disinvestment in the northeast. Almost every day you've got another body blow, which shows that the economic story told by the Brexiteers ahead of June 2016 was just false in the end. And
You're talking about Brexiteers as if they're other people.
I know, well, I say us. I said, sorry,
right.
us Brexiteers, but I wasn't one of the economists. And the economic model, which depended on the World Trade Organization, has collapsed for reasons it was hard to tell in 2016, namely the rise of protectionism in Trump's United States and Xi's China. Big protectionist blocks with very little room for manoeuvre for little countries like Britain.
Melissa Kite, what do you make of it?
Well, I mean, I totally accept that we're in a mess, but I would say the problem is not Brexit. The problem is the lack of Brexit, Peter. And I totally understand that in your piece you say that you feel very torn inside, and I totally understand that there's a huge problem here at Westminster and everyone's ripping each other to shreds over it. But
on the economics, which has swayed him.
That's not how 17.4 million people are feeling, and I have not heard one of them say that they're changing their mind. So, yes, there's a huge row going on here, and everybody seems to be having a collective nervous breakdown because they're arguing over Brexit, but they're not implementing Brexit, and that's the problem, and that's why we're in the mess.
Melissa, I mean, you know, he's laid out a series of economic disasters as he's seen it. Is he wrong about that?
Well, we're going to have a series of economic disasters if we carry on like this. We're in a mess of the MPs' own making, and the fact that they've decided to have this extra vote and this extra process and not implement the vote that we've already had in a referendum, and they're ignoring the votes of 17.4 million people, including you, Peter. If indeed you did vote Brexit, I'm accepting that you did, but you seem to have a really well...
Are you suggesting he was a plant?
No, I said... Well,
I'm suggesting anything's possible at the moment.
Really?
I'm suggesting anything's possible.
I think it's important to say that there's been 2.5 years and more since the vote, and a lot of things have happened. We've learned in a huge amount about what Brexit will be like in the interim.
You must have known this before.
In the interim, I've mentioned the changes in the WTO and the fact that industries are now leaving Britain. We didn't know that was happening before. And you said not enough Brexit. If we leave with no deal, it's now quite plain that we are going to wipe out hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of jobs.
Now
you cannot be
jobs if we have a year's uncertainty. And what business leaders are begging for is certainty.
What they're begging for.
And I cannot believe any of this that you're talking about is not what you knew before. And I'm not hearing this from anyone else. I'm not hearing it on the. If you look online at the normal people out there commenting.
The polls have changed, to be fair. I mean,
I think there's been a slight movement towards Brexit, and every Brexit voter is saying no deal.
I'm talking about the economic facts. The second thing, which has really scared me, knocks me in the solar plexus, I'm perfectly happy to acknowledge I was wrong, is the fact that the Union is clearly going to come under enormous threat. Northern Ireland, we didn't understand the importance of the Northern Irish Agreement. We didn't understand how much Ireland, which has haunted Great Britain for 500 years.
Maybe you didn't understand it, but you're part of the political
this is a
here
point,
at
isn't it?
Westminster,
A lot of
and you're
Remainers have been
arguing with
very
each other.
gracious to you and said, oh, this is very brave. Some of them have said, well, you know, all he said is everything we said 3 years ago.
I fully accept.
Do you feel foolish, or do you think you were right then and right now, or what is it? I mean,
I'm very, very happy to accept, and I think we all should. This is a very, very dire national moment. I can be as humble as you like. I was wrong. I got things wrong. I misread things. But also things have
were
happened
you wrong on the
since...
principle? Because that's what a lot of Brexiteers or Leave voters will say. We didn't care about all of that. We cared about the principle
Well, I would say,
of sovereignty.
If the Brexit campaign had fought a general election, they'd have been out of office by now. They've consistently told untruths about what Brexit would be like. They said that a deal would be easy to get. The Fox we had, there'd be 40 deals. There's 2 or 3 with very small countries. The assertions by the main Brexit campaign, this is a very important point. Just hang on a second. The assertions by the main Brexit campaigners have turned out to be false.
We've not had Brexit yet. We've not had it. Peter, we've not had Brexit, so we can't know what's going to happen. We have not had it.
We were told they said the deal would be very easy to negotiate.
You don't have to cave in yet,
it turned out to be nonsense.
You don't have to cave in. 17.4 million people are standing firm and they still want
They're
it.
not
You don't have
firm.
to cave in.
Have a look.
And give
Almost
in
every
to the
poll is
scare
anti-Brexit now. If you don't, you obviously don't read the newspapers. I recommend you should.
No, there's been many polls that have put a move towards Brexit.
Almost all
I
of them.
think you should stand firm and stand up for your readers, the people who are reading your articles. I don't think you have to cave in at all.
I think you have to be honest.
It's fascinating.
I really think.
But we've
in
got to leave it
grave
there.
matters like this, you need to be honest.
Thank you very much indeed, both of you. Melissa Kite, Peter Oborne, thanks for joining us.